For centuries, human beings have sought answers in the stars, in temples and ancient scriptures, believing that the mysteries of the universe lay outside themselves. But what if the greatest portal of manifestation in existence wasn't in the sky, but within consciousness itself? This was the question one man dared to ask. His name was Itzhak Bentov, the scientist who crossed the boundary between physics and spirit and discovered something that the spiritual world had been whispering for millennia. The universe doesn't respond to time, it responds to vibration. For many, November 11th is just a date. But for Bentov, it's the intersection between dimensions. The moment when human consciousness and the universal field breathe in the same rhythm. He claimed that on this day, the structure of reality becomes malleable, and thought, when coherent with the heart, can literally bend the fabric of space-time. This isn't empty mysticism, but the physics of consciousness, and that's why what you ask for on this day will be given. But here's a detail that few understand. The portal doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. While most try to ask from the universe, those who know the secret become the request itself. The 1111 portal is the moment when the cosmos opens its doors, but only those who vibrate at the right frequency pass through. It's the point where the word becomes flesh, where thought turns into form, and where the Creator awakens within their own creation. And perhaps that's exactly why this date stirs humanity so deeply. Because, even without understanding, everyone feels that something grand is happening. Something that defies logic, but makes sense in the heart. A call to remember what has always been dormant. The power to co-create one's own reality. Today, in this video, you'll understand what really happens on November 11. You'll discover why this portal can only be crossed by those who reach the vibration of certainty. And when you comprehend this secret, the same one that Itzhak Bentov deciphered, you will realize that manifestation isn't a request to the universe, but a dialogue between equals. The portal is opening, and what you do with this knowledge will determine what the universe gives back to you. At some point on the calendar, a silent symphony occurs in the invisible fabric of the cosmos. It's the day when the number 11 repeats before the eyes of the world, and the universe, like a living being, breathes differently. Many look at the clock and see only aligned digits, but those who know the movement of energies understand that November 11th isn't just any date. It's a dimensional inflection point. In this instant, reality becomes malleable, and human consciousness is invited to shape it like cosmic clay. The curious thing is that the portal doesn't open to the eyes, but to the awakened heart. It doesn't depend on complex rituals or rigid beliefs. It responds only to vibration. On November 11th, the density of time softens and the space between the visible and invisible dissolves, as if life were giving us permission to touch the fabric of its own creation. The universe, on this day, seems to whisper, "Everything you believe is possible now is." This phenomenon isn't metaphorical. It's vibrational. Earth's electromagnetic field and the collective mental field enter into a delicate synchronization, like two instruments tuning their strings to the same note. That's why so many people, in different parts of the world, feel something inexplicable, a slight expansion, an intuition that intensifies, an internal call to withdraw and listen. The 1111 portal doesn't manifest with thunder, but with presence. It asks for internal silence, because it's in silence that frequency reveals itself. Some say that during these 24 hours, reality listens more attentively. It's as if each thought becomes a seed planted in fertile soil, ready to germinate in the form of experience. Those who understand the quantum nature of consciousness know that the universe doesn't differentiate between dream and reality. It simply responds to the vibrational coherence of what is emitted. And when the number 11 duplicates itself, coherence reaches its maximum point, opening the energetic corridor that connects what we desire to what we live. At this point, the awakened seeker realizes that this isn't about superstition or coincidence, but synchronicity. 1111 is the mirror where the soul recognizes itself as creator. It represents the reminder that we are within an intelligent field that responds to our intention. The veil between worlds becomes so thin that consciousness can cross it, not with effort, but with clarity. It's the instant when the invisible approaches to be touched. And so, each year, this portal returns. It doesn't ask for offerings, but presence. It doesn't demand blind faith, but lucid consciousness. It invites humanity to participate in the act of creation with vibrational responsibility, remembering that everything projected into this field returns multiplied. It's the day when the universe not only observes, but cooperates. And it's in this state of cosmic reciprocity that the path begins to reveal itself, leading to the secret geometry that sustains this entire phenomenon. When the portal opens, consciousness is naturally led to understand the language that sustains this phenomenon, sacred geometry. The number 11 is more than a mathematical symbol. It's a vibrational structure, a cosmic signature that describes the balance between spirit and matter. Each digit rises like a column of light, two parallel pillars sustaining the passage between dimensions. It's the corridor where the energy of creation moves without friction. In the mystical field, these two pillars are recognized as portals of integration. They represent the dialogue between the visible and invisible, the human and divine, that which dreams and that which manifests. When 11 duplicates itself and transforms into 1111, the universe creates an echo within itself, amplifying the field of manifestation. It's as if two realities vibrated in resonance, allowing what exists only in consciousness to find a path to materialize in experience. In this instant, thought ceases to be a loose spark and becomes a vector of conscious creation. This geometry is the hidden alphabet that the universe uses to speak to those who listen beyond form. The number 11 has always been present in ancient temples, in pyramid alignments, in the proportions of the human body, and in planetary orbits. Not because it was designed this way by chance, but because the entire cosmos operates through harmonic patterns, and 11 is one of these fundamental codes. It symbolizes the passage between worlds, the exact point where duality finds harmony and paradox ceases to exist. When a person attunes to this structure, they become a bridge. Their mind, body, and spirit begin to vibrate in unison with universal architecture. That's why, during November 11th, well-defined intentions flow with such force. The geometry of the number creates a quantum tunnel, a corridor of pure frequency where the energy of desire travels to the material plane without dispersion. Within this space, there's no interference from doubt or fear, because both belong to the domain of fragmentation, and 11 is the number of perfect union. In ancient initiatory schools, this knowledge was transmitted in veiled form through symbols and rites of passage. The masters knew that the true power of 11 wasn't in numbers, but in vibration. They taught that when human beings sustain thoughts coherent with their purpose, they enter into resonance with the very rhythm of the universe. And it's this attunement that transforms ideas into palpable reality. By recognizing the pattern of 11 as a living language, the seeker understands that each time they see 1111, the cosmos is waving, not as coincidence, but as invitation. A reminder that there's a hidden structure sustaining everything, and that this structure responds to the conscious observer. The portal doesn't open outside of us, it opens within. And by crossing this corridor of light, perception expands to a new level of understanding, the field where the universe enters total reception mode, preparing itself for the next movement of creation. When the 1111 corridor is activated, a silent wave travels through the planet's magnetic field. This vibration isn't just perceived, it's felt as an internal expansion, a relief, an opening. In this moment, Earth and human consciousness enter into a dance of precise synchronization. It's as if the planet's heart pulsed in harmony with the hearts of the beings that inhabit it, allowing genuine desires to find a clear path to the plane of manifestation. The energy that flows during this period is called the energy of universal permission. It doesn't judge, doesn't question, and doesn't impose conditions. It simply responds. It's cosmic intelligence operating in a state of maximum receptivity, like a quantum field awaiting clear instructions. That's why many feel that the universe listens more on November 11th. Actually, it doesn't listen more. It listens with purity, without interference. The energetic noise that normally distorts communication between human and divine dissipates for a brief instant, and the channel of creation becomes crystalline. In this vibrational range, the law of attraction ceases to be merely a mental concept and transforms into a physiological reality. The body's cells respond to intention with the same naturalness as a flower responds to the sun. The entire body becomes an antenna. Each coherent thought is transmitted in pure frequency, and the universal field recognizes it as a command, not as a request. It's at this point that manifestation accelerates, because the vibration of doubt ceases to exist, and without doubt, the universe doesn't need time to respond. Ancient wisdom described this phenomenon as the hour when the word becomes flesh. But it's not about magic words or secret formulas. It's about conscious vibration. Universal permission doesn't happen when the individual forces the universe to act, but when they align with the certainty that they're already participating in the creative process. The portal amplifies exactly what is sustained internally. If the vibration is of scarcity, the field adjusts to it. If the vibration is of abundance, the field also obeys. It's neutral, but infinitely sensitive to coherence. During November 11th, the universe becomes a direct reflection of the internal state of the observer. And that's why the wise have always said this is the day of energetic responsibility. Energy doesn't distinguish what is good or bad. It simply reproduces what is being sustained. This is the true universal permission. The cosmos, for a brief period, opens all doors without filters. What you sustain in your field at this instant becomes decree. Not a fragile intention, but a vibrational order recognized by the very fabric of reality. It's in this state of openness that many begin to perceive that asking for something no longer makes sense, because the energy of permission doesn't respond to requests. It responds to the vibration of the being who has already understood that creation isn't something to be conquered, but something to be allowed to flow. November 11th is the stage where this understanding manifests with clarity. And when consciousness awakens to this understanding, something even deeper begins to happen. The being stops seeking and begins to declare, inaugurating the state of full co-creation. When the field of universal permission is active, the universe awaits only one thing, the clarity of the Creator. Between 11:11 a.m. and 11:11 p.m. on November 11th, human consciousness reaches such a precise vibrational range that time seems to bend around intention. In this interval, words gain weight, thoughts transform into tangible vibration, and inner silence becomes the direct language between being and the all. But here a secret is revealed that separates the manifester from the spectator. Those who still ask from the universe start from scarcity, from the belief that something is missing. The Creator, however, declares, and declaration is born from certainty. The vibration of certainty is the code that the field recognizes as absolute truth. When a being declares with conviction, they're not trying to convince the universe of anything. They're simply reminding the universe of a frequency that already exists. This is the difference between asking and decreeing. The ritual of absolute certainty doesn't require objects, candles, mantras, or external ceremonies. It happens in the silent sanctuary of mind and heart aligned. When the being enters this state, each cell of the body responds to the same vibration, like a choir of light singing a single note. In this instant, the entire universe reorganizes itself to correspond to this coherence. It's the point where there's no longer out there and in here. There's only the field responding to itself. 11:11 is a quantum mirror that returns, without distortion, everything sustained with unwavering faith. That's why, on this day, each thought becomes a creative gesture. Energy doesn't distinguish between what is desired and what is feared, it simply amplifies. Therefore, the true ritual isn't about what you do, but about what you feel. The vibration of gratitude before materialization is the seal of reality. The universe recognizes this feeling as the signature of the conscious creator. During this interval of hours, space-time adjusts in an almost palpable way. Many report feeling warmth in the center of the chest, sudden chills, or an expansion in perception. These are responses from the energetic body to direct interaction with the universal field. The human being isn't asking for something from outside. They're reminding the field of their own creative nature. Certainty becomes the channel, and doubt, a noise that finds no echo. Itzhak Bentov said that consciousness, when coherent, bends time around itself. This is exactly what 1111 allows us to experience. The vibration of certainty creates a direct line between what is thought and what manifests. The word, when sustained in harmony with emotion, becomes command. The universe doesn't resist this coherence. It replicates it. And while this silent symphony unfolds, a new understanding begins to emerge. That every portal, no matter how grand it may seem, only responds to one who knows who they are. And when the being recognizes this power, they begin to perceive that there's an internal structure sustaining the act of creation, a secret triad that must be mastered for the portal to respond with total precision. Upon crossing the 1111 portal, the seeker perceives that nothing happens by chance. There's an invisible architecture sustaining all manifestation, and it rests on three pillars: clarity, emotion, and detachment. These are the three forces that, when balanced, shape reality with mathematical precision. This is the true secret of the masters. Understanding that the universe doesn't respond to doubt or desire, but to the coherent vibration of these three elements in synchrony. Clarity is the first pillar. It defines the shape of creation. A nebulous thought generates scattered results, but a clear purpose acts like a ray of light that crosses time and space without deviation. When the being knows exactly what they want to experience, the quantum field responds instantly. The mind becomes an instrument of focus, and the heart, the compass that points to the vibrational north of manifestation. It's in this state that the universe begins to move, adjusting events, encounters, and coincidences to build the perfect scenario. The second pillar is elevated emotion. The universe doesn't understand words, it understands vibration, and emotion is its pure language. When the heart vibrates in gratitude, joy, and certainty, energy expands in waves that cross dimensions. That's why, in ancient traditions, feeling was considered the fuel of creation. The being doesn't manifest what they think, but what they feel as real. When the heart vibrates as if the desire has already been fulfilled, the universe interprets this as accomplished fact and collapses the time between dream and experience. The third pillar is detachment. It's what closes the circuit and allows energy to move without resistance. Attachment imprisons creation in the field of doubt, while detachment liberates flow. To detach isn't to give up, it's to trust. It's understanding that the universe knows the exact route to materialize what has been decreed. When the being surrenders with serenity, they get out of the way and allow the field to act in its totality. In this state, control transforms into trust, and anxiety into creative serenity. These three pillars form the sacred geometry of conscious manifestation. Clarity directs, emotion expands, detachment liberates. Together, they create the alchemical triangle capable of bending reality. When the being sustains gratitude before arrival, time ceases to be an obstacle. Past and future unite in a single point of power, the now. It's there, in this instant without boundaries, that the 1111 portal delivers with precision what has been sustained at the correct vibration. The seeker who understands this triangle discovers that the universe doesn't need effort, only coherence. And the deeper this coherence, the more rapidly reality responds. It's at this point that the mystery of 1111 reveals itself in its totality. The portal doesn't create for you, it simply amplifies what you already are. And when vibration reaches this level of purity, time begins to dissolve, preparing the ground for the final phenomenon that crowns this cosmic experience. The 72-hour window, the energetic echo that prolongs the portal's power beyond the day itself. When the clock passes through the day of November 11th, many believe the portal closes. But the ancient masters knew that time doesn't cut energies, it only transforms them into waves of resonance. That's why the field generated on this day doesn't end in 24 hours. It remains active for a cycle of 72 hours, 3 days before and 3 days after. It's the echo zone, where the planted vibration continues expanding, seeking stability within the fabric of the real. During this period, the universe acts like a mirror in motion. Everything that was felt, declared, and sustained within the portal begins to reverberate in everyday life. Small synchronicities emerge, an unexpected encounter, a message, a sudden intuition, subtle signs that the field has begun to reorganize matter around the emitted intention. It's in this interval that magic is confirmed. The invisible begins to become palpable. But it's also in this same interval that shadows reveal themselves. The 1111 portal doesn't amplify only light. It amplifies everything. If there's doubt, it grows. If there's fear, it becomes visible. This is the law of universal neutrality. The field doesn't judge, it only expands. Therefore, initiates have always considered this window as a time of inner vigilance, a sacred space of conscious observation. What emerges in the following days isn't punishment, but mirror. Everything that appears is a reflection of the frequency sustained during the portal. Wisdom lies in remaining centered. If the vibration was anchored in clarity, elevated emotion, and detachment, then the universe will work with surgical precision, manifesting corresponding experiences. What was planted will flourish, because the energetic soil of the cosmos is fertile. It's in this field that intentions gain strength and speed. Many call this destiny acceleration, when linear time seems to collapse, and what was distant approaches without effort. This 72-hour window is an opportunity to align the personal field with cosmic rhythm. Each gesture, thought, and word in this period has amplified vibrational weight. It's an invitation to sustain coherence and reinforce the frequency one wishes to maintain. The universe, still in a state of receptivity, continues responding to the vibrational commands we emit, shaping experience according to the dominant vibration. The November 11th portal is, therefore, more than a date. It's a tool for consciousness expansion, an annual reminder that reality is alive and responds to the presence of those who know how to create with energetic responsibility. And when the being understands that each cycle renews itself with this divine precision, they perceive that 1111 never truly ends. It only changes form, awaiting the next encounter between earth and infinity. And thus, the awakened seeker ends this cycle, not with the sensation of ending, but of continuity. Because by crossing the portal with consciousness, they understand that true manifestation doesn't occur in one day, but in each instant they remain in the vibration of creation. 1111 is only the reminder, the echo of the divine calling back to the center of what we have always been, pure creative consciousness. The approaching moment is a silent reminder that creation never ceases. It only changes form, following the vibration you choose to sustain. The universe doesn't differentiate between dreams and reality. It responds to the coherence of your energy. When mind and heart align in gratitude and certainty, the field responds without hesitation. Now that you understand this principle, there's no longer any reason to ask as one who begs. Declare as one who already is. Feel the emotion of having received even before seeing the result, and the flow will move in your favor. Manifestation is a dialogue between you and the all, a continuous process of remembrance and attunement. So, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what energy do you wish to sustain from here forward? What will be the decree that will guide your next cycles? Write in the comments, share your intention, and strengthen the collective field. Because when many vibrate at the same frequency, the universe responds with even more force. If this message touched something in you, if it made you feel more present in your own creative power, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Here, each encounter is one more step in the journey of consciousness, an invitation to live awake, in tune with what the cosmos expects you to become. The field is open, creation is in progress, and the next move is yours.